My feet are bare. I feel the ground is smooth. The room opens. At the end, figures enter. The room closes. Shapes move to the right. Shapes move behind me. A door slams far in the distance. I feel air on my arms from behind me. Hard wooden knocks take place somewhere in the distance behind me. A figure kneels to my left. A figure kneels in front of me. Shapes adjust their clothing. Figures fiddle. Figures shift their weight from the left to the right. Movement in the room slows down. Now and then, someone moves their foot or their leg or their arm. I feel cold air on my feet. My toes grasp the floor. It takes effort to hold my back as straight as possible. My clothing pulls on my hips. My knees pinch tight. The floor feels cooler on the left than it does on the right. A figure moves closer to me. A figure on the right bows their head. A figure on the right moves their arms before them. Figures in front of me gaze at me. The room is slowing down even more. My skin prickles a little tiny bit with perspiration. My muscles are already a little tired on my shoulders. The door opens, the door closes. Reflections of light occur in the doorway. There is small whispering and shuffling. People move their arms in the program. Makes a shuddering noise. A figure stands on her toes and back down again. The door opens. A figure enters slowly into the room. The door closes. A figure rises again to his feet and moves to my left. Figures turn their heads to look. The door opens. Light is refracted. Someone descends a staircase very quickly or pulls something very heavy. Figures move closer to me. They wave at one another. Figures move up the stairs. A door slams shut. The figure moves closer to me, intently observing me. A small light. A door squeaks open. A door opens. I breathe in and out. The muscles of my legs are tiring. I shift my weight onto my left leg. My right foot leaves the ground. My toes seek the space. My left heel rises. My weight shifts to my right hip. My left foot leaves the floor. My toes glide along the floor. The floor is dirty. I feel cracks in the floor. The floor is cold. The columns are massive. Figures observe me. Face is turned in my direction. My left foot glides along the floor. I am perspiring, and my foot doesn't move quite as smoothly as I would like. The door opens. A figure was on the staircase. A figure is wearing an orange jacket with legs crossed. My left leg moves forward on the stone surface. My toes search for the space. I slowly shift my weight from my right foot to my left foot. My knee straightens. I feel more prickling on my skin. I am perspiring more freely now. My muscles do small frenetic movements in order to keep the balance in my entire body so that I stay erect. My left foot leaves the floor once again. Shapes are not moving, shapes are standing still. Light reflects in the door. The sound of metal and ceramic or porcelain comes from my right. I hear voices from the distance. Cool air hits my left arm. The muscles of my fingers and hands enjoy the change of temperature. A figure holds an apparatus and points it at my direction. Another figure stands behind him with a smaller apparatus and also points it in my direction. A figure holds a glass filled with liquid. It seems to be very precious. A figure has red fringe. A figure peeks at me from behind a sign. Another figure holds a stack of papers and leans studiously against a column. A cough from my left. Figures stand before me. They're hypnotized by my dress. My right toe is cramping. My left foot moves slowly against the floor. The sound coming from my right increases as I move into a different part of the space. I hear the sound of my voice reflected in the corner of the walls before me. I feel the ground change. There's a different aspect to the stone upon which I stand. Figures try to observe my feet. The door opens and closes repeatedly. There's some shuffling behind me. some low voices. Figures don't know what to do as I get closer. The ground here is cooler. My feet enjoy the sensation of the cool floor. I feel more dirt in this space. The walls are yellow. A figure wears black and a pink-colored mask with dancing cheeses on it. A figure wears a striped scarf and moves delicately out of my way. More figures hold up apparati and point them in my direction. Figures seek eye contact. A figure holds up a communication device and points it in my direction. A figure wears a shaggy coat. A figure has blonde hair. A figure has a pile of hair in a knot on the top. A figure has graying hair. A figure has a blue shirt. A figure leans nonchalantly against the wall. The wall has a stripe of blue. The blue matches the figure's jacket. Figures wear green, one behind the other. A figure stands against the back wall with its head cocked. A figure stands to my right. The figure seems to have an animal. There is a hair on the scarf of the figure. I go in the direction of the staircase. The stairs are tipped with a metal color. The stairs appear to be of stone or concrete. There are a multitude of horizontal lines. There is a shape to my left. It could be a place for holding things. It could be a photograph. Small marks are on the pipe to my right. Somebody has placed a cough from my right behind. Somebody has placed something that they would like to have said onto the pipe. Somebody else decided they didn't want that thing to be said, and they removed it. A cough to my right. A tear develops in my right eye, but only because my eyes are so open and not focused on anything. Figures lean in toward me. They lean towards each other. They move backwards. Figures to my right point apparatus at me. I approach the first stair. My toe moves along the floor, expecting to find a change. My toe continues to search. I haven't arrived yet. My right toe leaves its place and moves forward along the floor. It finds the first stair. My arm finds the banister. I move my weight to my right hip. I lift my left foot. My toe scrapes along the rough stair and moves forward on top of the stair. I move my weight up using my right foot. I rise onto my toes and move my body up. My left toe scrapes along the top of the first stair and seeks the second stair. My right foot is placed on the second stair. I use my left foot to lift my body up. I shift my weight onto my right foot. I hold the banister for balance. I feel the weight of the dress pulling me. The dress is very heavy. It takes effort to shift my weight once again, to use my body weight and lift up. I'm not focused on anything, but I see shapes where the paint of the walls is uneven. It's sort of a yellow color, yellow with green. The color of the banisters is wood, and the metal has been painted a beige. There are green, blue areas outlining all of the stairs. There are arches in the wall. The walls are painted a beige, dirty color. A figure wears a red splotchy shirt and stands with legs apart. A figure taps on his phone and doesn't see what's happening. A figure stands with arms crossed. A figure holds a phone. A younger figure stands against a post with her head kipped to one side. A form stands leaning against a column with arms crossed and her head tilted slightly down. A figure is almost fully masked. A small figure tries to see. A figure leans against the banister. Figure still grasping a cup of precious liquid. Figures peer at the ceiling above. Figures observe, clumped behind me. Figures now watch. I move my weight up onto my left foot by lifting my body up with my right foot. I am alone on this stair, except for the figure that has accompanied me from below. I move onto the first landing. There are chips in the paint in the wall before me. My fingers trace along the banister. The dress pulls, and I have to pull against it. The second staircase appears. I ascend the second staircase. My foot seeks stability. Figures below are wearing a blue jacket. They seem to belong in a group. Two figures are both facing each other without realizing it. A figure is standing in a doorway with arms still crossed. Figures behind me are rising along the staircase. Shapes try to see what's happening. Shapes are watching from below. A woman looks at somebody else to see whether this is normal. A shape in the distance is not paying attention at all. A figure moves to the center of the room to get a better view. A figure scratches his head. A figure takes a photograph. A figure has long, pale hair. A figure traces her foot back and forth along the floor. Shapes approach. They are unsure whether they should rise along the staircase. Now other shapes also wonder whether they should rise along the staircase. Figures look at each other to see whether somebody might make the first move. Footsteps begin. Figures decide to rise along the staircase. In the distance, somebody walks purposefully. A man reads a program, leaning against a column, carrying an umbrella. Figures move closer into the room. Figures behind me are waiting in the corner. Figures leave the space. A cough behind me. A figure has 2 feet on the stair as if in mid-action. A woman would like to climb the staircase but is unsure. More figures would like to climb the staircase but seem very insecure. Figures move closer together. There is safety in numbers and distance. I feel the roundness of the column. I move my hand forward. I feel the wood of the banister, which is cool and soft and smooth, but with grains. The columns of the room are painted with geometric shapes in blue and red and orange. There are sculptures of flowers. A cough from above. A man has finished reading his program and is now moving towards the staircase. Figures watch, questioning. Shapes sway to the left and the right behind me. A figure removes an article of clothing. Shuffling takes place. A figure is still with me. A man wears a red shirt. He leans against a column. A man does not drink his precious liquid. A man has gray pants and a green shirt. A woman with pale hair moves around the room. Shapes congregate behind me. Shapes kneel before me. A shape leans against the column. Shapes have appeared above me. They observe from a new vantage point. Figures move from the left to the right. They exchange spaces. Shapes observe me from above. Shapes are congregated on the landing below me. A woman seeks to find a place for her paper. A woman shuffles her paper. A man peeks around a pole and observes. A man looks for something in his pockets. Shapes move in the room in the distance. They peek between the columns to observe. They observe the columns and the arches. They observe me. A figure moves towards the exit of the room, wearing dark colors. A woman sits on the stairs and waits. A man takes his jacket off and looks for something. A figure moves down the stairs for a different vantage point. A woman opens her program and reads it. A figure still stands with her arms crossed in front of her. Now her head is not tipped towards me anymore. She peeks up with her eyes. A woman observes everyone else in the room. She shuffles her papers from one hand to the other. She observes her watch. A woman is wondering how much longer this is going to take. A man still hasn't drunk his precious liquid. A woman stands wearing a green jacket. She looks curious. A man with a red jacket raises his eyebrows and observes the other people in the room. A man wearing a blue jacket never faces his full body towards me. A man wearing a black mask always peeks around to look at me. A woman wearing a white and gray jacket is uncomfortable standing on the staircase. A man holds a precious liquid in front of him, away from his body. A woman coughs. A man wears a bag over his body. I grasp the final banister. A woman stands up to allow someone to pass. Her companion signals to her. They approach the other side of the room. They collect two other figures who all agree to go together. Two figures decide whether they should also go to the other side or whether they should climb up the staircase that they're already on. Someone takes a sip of their liquid. Someone gestures. The dress pulls, and it's very difficult for me to move forward using the weight of my body and the muscles in my legs. A woman peers up with her head cocked to one side. A young person leans against the railing. A couple lean their heads towards each other. A man leans against a column. A figure takes a photograph. A figure is still on the stairs, and meanwhile somebody else has joined in the sitting. Figures move beyond in the distance, back and forth between the columns. A figure takes a drink from a green bottle and replaces it on the counter. A man is now insecure whether it's a good moment to also take a drink. A man brushes his face against his arm. A woman takes another photograph. A man climbs one stair. A figure slowly ascends the staircase behind me. You have a red striped scarf. You have a black hat. A woman is wearing a pink satin jacket. A door on my left is made of glass. The arches of the room are reflected in the door. You are taking a photograph. You are creeping up behind me. You raise your head to look. You can't see very well, so you have to come up the stairs. You aren't paying attention. A couple discusses between themselves. A man is explaining. He moves his hand to more emphatically explain. He puts his hand away. A woman is grasping something yellow. The man emphatically explains once again. A woman crosses her feet and observes from a safe distance. A figure drinks a fluid. You turn your body around to find a more comfortable position. You're not so sure about this. Your posture is challenging. You're watching me now. You are coming up the stairs behind me. The couple has stopped emphatically explaining to one another. A shape moves from behind me and continues on in the space. He seems to be looking for something. He moves on in the space. and observes from different vantage points you continue around the space, still looking for something. You are holding your apparatus with two hands. You are also holding your apparatus with two hands. You're not sure whether you should move in this moment. You wait. You squeeze by a different way. You have something to tell someone else. They listen, but they're also torn in attention. Others observe the interaction. You are very patient. You are uncomfortable with direct observation. You don't mind direct observation, but you've removed yourself from the situation. You are very uncomfortable with direct observation. You are still challenging me. You are twiddling your fingers. You are looking over the balcony. You are wondering if you should be down there. You twiddle your fingers. You come around the corner. You tilt your head. You fidget with your shirt. You try to get a better view. You're playing on your phone. Others turn to observe, but you're still playing on your phone. A man writes something down on a piece of paper. A man stretches his back by moving his hips from the left to the right and leaning over the rail. He raises his head and stops moving his hips back from the left to the right. You have your body turned slightly away from me. You're not so sure about this. You're getting impatient. You shift your weight. You're observing me through a device. You're trying to get a better view for what happens in the next minutes. You're watching somebody descend from an upper staircase. You're looking around you. You're touching your hair. You look at me, and then you look away. You look at someone else. You're uncomfortable with the attention. You wish you were somewhere else. You laugh. You look away, and you look back. You tilt your head. You flex your fingers. Your back is tired. You tilt your head to the right. A woman coughs. You are not sure what to make of this. You get out of the way just in case I'm going to come closer. You're looking downstairs, but there's nothing there to look at now. You raise your head. You're looking downstairs as well, but there's nothing there to look at now. My dress catches on the wooden floor, and I use the weight of my leg to release it. With each step, it requires more effort to move. The floor is very rough My feet feel the grooves of the wood. The wood has not been polished in a very long time. I approach a door. A laugh from downstairs. Could be a very young person. You re-enter the space. You look at who just entered the space. You look above at the ceiling to see what else is in the space. You don't want to look me directly in the eye. You laugh. You keep your back turned to me. You observe me with your arms crossed. A door opens, a door closes. You look like you're in pain. I turn my body to face the door. A woman reaches into a space and releases a latch. A door opens. Cool air hits my face and my arms and rises up underneath my clothing. I feel cold air on my feet and on my hips, on my shoulders, on my chest, on my face. The air moves the hair above me and moves the light above my head. I enter the space and the sound changes. The space is white with arches. I am standing in the doorway through which you have to pass. My feet sense the floor has changed below me. The room is circulating with air. The room is silent. There is shifting behind me. People prepare to move. I pull the dress, the last steps, and I enter the room.